are in stewardship season, and our stewardship theme is because of you, our church changes lives. And I think we've heard a lot about that this morning, but we are going to hear one more thing about it. I'm going to invite Margi Spratt to speak to us this morning, and she is ready to go.
Well, Todd is absolutely right. The morning has been about all the reasons that we are grateful for our church and for our community. My story began here in 1988 when I first visited the Booth Bay region. And driving down the street, I saw this quintessential New England church. Now, I grew up Roman Catholic in the Midwest, mostly German immigrants who were Catholic. And so congregational was a word I wasn't familiar with, to say the least. I kind of felt like I was going back to Longfellow and Hawthorne. But over the years, first of all, this community was amazing. I could hardly wait to be a full-time member of this community, and in fact became one much earlier than originally expected. And in that time, I could always count on members of this church being involved in something I cared about: the REPAs and Habitat for Humanity. And actually, Sarah, I got to know her very well because of Habitat. And so as time goes on, I know more and more people here. But I'm not coming here to church. I'm doing what traditionally my family had been doing for, as it turns out, 40 years. But then, I don't know how to put this, it wasn't that tragedy struck, it was that tragedy became more tragic. My husband had many difficulties over the years, and about 5 years ago, it was getting a lot worse. And I had a conversation with Marty Hellman, who said, "You know, we have a group at church." And I thought, oh, no. Here we go, church. And she said, "Why don't you just talk to us?" And so I started becoming part of the spouse support group, meeting absolutely unbelievable women who had been going through so much for so long and could still have great words of wisdom and great empathy. And Peter was running that group. And I never, ever met anyone quite like Peter. We weren't members of this church, and yet the first thing that happens is that Peter's sitting on our screened porch talking to Henry. Now, Henry had been a lifelong, he used to like to talk about being a cradle Episcopalian. And there they were, it was just extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. Well, Henry died, as you all know, because I think he was mentioned many times in this church, which we are also very appreciative of. And I was lost, very lost. I had no idea what to do in my life. And another couple who've been friends forever, the Fritzes, said, "Why don't you come, just come once, just come sit with us." And that's all it took. I was where I needed to be. And it was because of the extraordinary generosity and the love that came from every pew in this church. I felt welcome from the first moment I walked in. And of course, I still feel that way. So I want to thank all of you for the change that you've made in my life. My children like to say I'm much happier now than I used to be, so thank you for them. And I hope I can contribute as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Margie, we're delighted that you are now a part of our congregation. And the Fritzes, you asked, right? It's so important to invite someone. And they can say no, but it's important to invite, and thank you for doing that. Next Sunday is our Stewardship Sunday, where we'll dedicate our pledges. You saw the thermometer up there. We're at 39%. We were only at 13% last week. So it's growing. It would be great if as many of you as possible would let us know what your pledge is for this year before Sunday, so we can kind of see where we are. Whether you've put your pledge in or not, you will have something to put in the offering plate on Sunday as we dedicate our pledges together. And then we're going to give you lunch because I am so grateful for the generosity of this church. So I am making my best chili verde, and several others will be doing so as well, to say thank you to all of you as we have lunch together next week. Freely we have received from God, may we freely give in the morning offering.